Good morning. It is Wednesday, April the 15th, and I'm here with your bell ringer review or answer from Tuesday, April the 14th. You had a question that dealt with different aspects of food and culture. Now, before I get into this particular review, I want to remind you that you have AP classroom activities that are due this week. You have FRQs and multiple choice. So please make sure that you are looking over the feedback that I'm giving you for the FRQs. And realize that when I'm telling you what you need to change in an FRQ, it's not because I have some sort of vendetta against you. I want to make sure that you are you're getting as many points as you possibly can. There are several of you that gave answers that were really good. They just had some small details that they were missing that prevented you from getting every single point possible. And we're getting ready for the AP exam, so I'm trying to give you everything you can get to be as successful as possible. Okay. And don't forget to overlook things like the bell ringers and the 3 for 3s. The 3 for 3s are meant to just be snippets of information to help you review. Several of you have been asking emails or sending emails about what you have due this week, and every week the only thing that you are turning in is the AP classroom stuff. Okay? All of the other materials are there to help you get ready for those AP classroom assignments and the AP exam. You should be doing them, and I'm rolling them out one day at a time so that there's a little bit for you to do each day. So please take that seriously. I'm not trying to overburden you with it, but I do think that if you do somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 30 minutes a day on Human Geo, you're in really good shape. Okay, so your question says, how do what we eat, when we eat, and where we eat represent aspects of culture, dietary preferences, etc.? Remember that anytime you have a culture question, cultural elements are learned. Okay? Every cultural trait that a person possesses is a learned element. If it's not something that you can learn, if it's something that you inherited, if it's genetic, for example, that doesn't count as culture. So anytime you're asked about a culture question, think about any of the learned stuff. Language, religion, popular culture elements such as music, all of those work. Okay, so think about some of the foods that you eat and then realize that somewhere along the line someone introduced you to those foods. Okay? Not everybody in the world eats the same foods, and that's one of the neat parts about traveling around the world is eating different foods from different places. There's different foods that have been domesticated in different places, different foods that have migrated into different places. Take, for example, Tex-Mex cuisine being elements of Mexican culture, food that are brought into the United States and then mixed with Texas beef-loving culture to produce a very different type of food that isn't Mexican and it's not American either. It's that Tex-Mex feel that's become so popular throughout the United States. There's also the idea of how you eat. What utensils do you use? What's the norm? Right? Do you eat meals in front of the TV? Do you eat meals as a whole family sitting down to a formal dinner with the appropriate silverware? What do you eat with? Are you eating with chopsticks? Are you eating with your hands? Are you eating with utensils such as forks, knives, and spoons? Somebody invented those. Somebody came up with rules on how to use them. So all of those are learned cultural elements, and they're not the same everywhere in the world. One of the examples I used at the beginning of the year was a banana. How do you peel a banana? Okay. Do you break the stem and peel down the sides, or do you flip it around to the bottom and peel the bottom open in a much easier manner? Most Americans break the stem and peel the banana. Most other people around the world eat it from the other end. Okay? Those are examples of learned cultural practices. And if you see those things, that oftentimes kind of gives you away for who you are and where you're from. Or there's something like chili. What does chili mean? Is it a soup? Is it a stew? Is it pasta with a sauce on top? Is it spicy? Is it sweet? Those are all learned cultural practices. And those are all samples of foods that you might eat. Um, this question's really meant to just try to broaden your idea of what you think of in terms of culture. Is food meant to be something that sustains you? Is it supposed to be something that you enjoy? Is it supposed to be a status symbol that's supposed to look a certain way? Those are all learned cultural elements of food. Okay, so that's all we really want out of this, is to get you to start thinking about different food elements in different ways. Oh, we could tie this into the agricultural unit as well by talking about which foods are produced. That people sometimes produce foods because they're the foods they most commonly eat, because those are the foods that were invented in their region of the world or were brought to their region of the world when the largest amount of settlement happened. There's also the idea, though, that some people produce food items that they are not going to eat. Banana plantation owners, for example, raise huge numbers of bananas, but they're not going to eat them. They're going to be sold to, say, American corporations who are going to sell them in the United States. The term there, of course, is truck farm or plantation farm, where you're raising something with the intent to not sell it locally. All right. Anyway, that's it for our Wednesday. Don't forget to do your AP classroom stuff. Send me any questions if you got them. And of course, stay safe out there. Have a great day.